Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Today I want to talk to you about the kind of surprising and somewhat controversial mechanic in the game Lamentations of the Flame Princess, where only fighters go up an attack bonus. Everybody else stays static. And this just, I was very taken aback when I saw it the first time. And it was really only through experience and playing in a game where we didn't even really play it right. I'll get to that in terms of the armor class spread, and still how well it worked. And just kind of looking at it from some different angles, over the having the benefit of some time to look at it again, and why I kind of really like that, and why it makes some logical sense. Now, in a lot of versions of the game, a lot of versions I like, and even other ones that I played in, the more modern ones, everybody goes up an attack bonus or you're placed in the attack matrix, rather frequently. And you kind of have to. And one of the reasons you have to is because as you gain levels and get more powerful, the creatures that you're going to face tend to have higher and higher armor class. And so either you do that or you're gonna get sunk. You're not going to be able to hit them. So here's one of the things that happened in that game, and he doesn't explicitly say this, but after a while you get the idea that the armor class range is really, kind of squeezed back down to where it was once way back when, and things like chainmail or whatever. Or something like plate and shield, where in his game is armor class 19. Us old guys would say, well, that's armor class 2. I'd say it's more like 18 in ascending armor class, whatever you want to call it. That's about tops. Maybe with dexterity you get a couple points higher or something like that. That's about as tough of a thing as you're ever going to face. And in that game too, plate and shield is incredibly encumbering. Like you're not carrying anything else. Somebody else is carrying your food at that point. The other thing is, it's expensive. That's about a year's wages or more for the normal person. So, guys in plate mail aren't going to be all that common. Characters in plate mail probably aren't going to be all that common. Magical plate mail would be this kind of stuff that doesn't encumber you. That would be magical. Never mind the pluses. Just that's magical. Wow. So things like chain are a lot more like where the tops in terms of like armor class that a human or a humanoid would be wearing. So you're thinking of armor class 5 or 4 if they got a shield. So I guess in his game that'd be more like 16 and 17. A guy in chainmail, a first level character, other than a fighter, is going to hit him 30% of the time. So that's not too shabby. They're going to hit an unarmored guy about 50% of the time, and that's not so bad. That's regardless of level. So that's kind of where you think you're going to be hitting a guy normally. There's no real reason for monsters to have these ridiculous armor classes. I don't care you're an ogre. If like a 4-year-old kid, hits me with a kitchen knife, he's going to hurt me a little bit. He's not going to kill me probably, because he's 4. But the ogre may have more hit points. So you don't need this giant armor class spread. And so the other classes can still be moderately successful in hitting other creatures that they're going to encounter. What it does, though, and our DM had a lot more first edition background, so we did face some opponents that were a little bit tougher in terms of armor class, but for the most part we did okay. We got up to about 7th level in that game, and our fighter was a Cuisinart at that point. If Durgan wanted to attack you, you died. That was it. Because at that point, 7th level, I think he hit a guy in chainmail. What is it? I got this little cheat sheet here. That's 60% of the time he was going to hit this guy, 65. And he had some strength bonuses, so pretty much he hit you. If he attacked you, if you're a normal guy, you're just going to die, and that was that. And so it made the fighter turn into a fighter. The rest of us weren't shabby against the opponents, and we held our own in battles, and my wizard kind of hiding in the back and sprouted magic missiles and whatever else. But the fighter became exactly what he was supposed to be. And the other thing too is in lower levels, in a lot of games, basic, first edition, whatever, still normally you're thinking of the thief and the cleric or whatever. You're only like a point or two behind the fighter for a while at lower levels. Whereas in this game, the fighter just kind of takes off like a rocket. And he becomes instantly like what he's supposed to be. He's the guy that fights, and is really, really good at it. It's not that the opponent's armor classes are getting higher. He's just becoming really, really good and killing people a lot. I like that mechanic. I like that idea. So I was initially very taken aback by it. But if you don't inflate the armor classes, then all of a sudden the fighter becomes a Cuisinart, and that's really, really cool.